Hi everyone, welcome to the first webinar of a series of webinars conducted by TCS in lieu of the upcoming operational case study examinations happening in May 2023. My name is Nick and I'm the lead tutor and evaluator for OCS at TCS. So first things first, let's look at the session outcomes. So I'm going to take you through the OCS exam. I'll be providing an overview into the OCS exam because most of you, this might be the first time you are attempting a CIMA case study examination. So in such a context, you need to have a good understanding about the technicalities behind the OCS exam. And on top of that, there could be a set of students who are coming through the exemption route who had not done a CIMA exam before, even an OTQ exam. So in such a context, you have to be conversant with the technicalities pertaining to the OCS exam. And in the second part of tonight's webinar, I'll be taking you through a 6-week study plan. And if you stick to the study plan, you need not spend too much time on preparations. Instead, you are only supposed to attempt mock exams on a weekly basis. Everything else is handled by us, the tutors, and the evaluators at TCS. So I'll take you through the study plan later on. Okay, so before we move on to the nitty-gritties, let me remind you about the 4 webinars which we are conducting. So in tonight's session, I'll be covering the study technique aspects where I'm going to take you through the 6-week study plan. And the second webinar is an important webinar because I'll be taking you through the pre-scene. Usually what we at TCS, what we do is we divide the entire pre-scene into 4 different sections. And in the upcoming webinar, which is happening on the 24th of March, I'll be taking you through the first part of the pre-scene analysis. And as part of this pre-scene analysis, I'll be taking you through the industry dynamics as well, because as a case study student, you need to have a good understanding about the industry. You need not remember all the information about the industry dynamics. Yet, if you understand what the industry is about, then it helps you immensely when it comes to preparing for your upcoming case study. So that's the second webinar, which is happening on the 24th of March, which is the the pre-scene analysis webinar. And in the third webinar, again, an extremely important webinar, I'll be highlighting about answering technique, because what I've seen, I've been a tutor for the past 12 years, and what I've seen throughout my experience is most students lack an in-depth understanding about how to develop answers. And most students run out of time when it comes to providing answers. And if you run out of time, chances of you passing the exam is extremely low. This is highlighted again and again by the CIMA examiner as well. So in such a context, all students, if you are to pass, you need to have an understanding about how to develop answer plans. And if you develop answer plans, then you'd end up improving the quality of your answer. You'd end up improving the structure of your answer. And on top of that, you'd save a lot of time. So on a task by task basis, you are allocated 45 minutes. So you'd be in a position to come up with a fully fledged answer utilizing the 45 minutes in its entirety without running out of time. So all these things will be highlighted in the third webinar based on the questions and the suggested answers of a mini mock, which we would be preparing. So that's happening on the 1st of April. And the last webinar, which is happening on the 16th of April, I'll be taking you through tips pertaining to what you need to do when it comes to preparing for your exam. So I'll be taking you through the examiner's comments, because you need to understand the psychology as well as the expectations of the examiner. So I'll be taking you through the comments made by the examiner, which will help you understand what you need to do as a student and what the CIMA examiner expects from you. And on top of that, I'll be also highlighting as to what you need to do to develop your confidence, because as per the CIMA examiner, confident students end up passing the exam comfortably. On the day of the exam, when you are attempting your real exam, you need to have a positive mindset, or else you'd find it extremely hard to provide proper answers. So you need to do certain things before the exam as well as during the exam to develop a positive attitude, a positive mindset. All these things, all these tips will be highlighted within the fourth webinar. And remember, all these webinars are done free of charge. All right. So let's get into the nitty-gritties pertaining to the OCS exam. So looking at the pathway to OCS, there are a set of students coming through the general route, CIMA general route. So you guys might have done your E1, P1 and F1 related OTQ exams. So these students have an appropriate level of knowledge about theoretical concepts since they had done their OTQ exams. And these students who are coming through the general route would find the case study to be a bit easier relative to the other students who are coming through the exemption route. So the individuals who are coming through the exemption route are the students who are coming through the FLP program or the finance leadership program. This was introduced by CIMA recently, and it's increasing in popularity. But most of the time, what I've encountered is most students who are coming through this exemption route or the FLP route, since they had not done the OTQ exams, they lack an in-depth understanding about theoretical concepts. And because of this, these students end up failing the OCS exam. Remember that the OCS exam is a highly technical examination. So if you do not have an appropriate level of knowledge about theoretical concepts, you cannot pass this exam. Okay, so you will have to work a bit smarter and harder relative to a student who is coming through the CIMA general route. However, there's absolutely nothing to worry. We at TCS, we had developed a set of master classes with the intention of ensuring that the students who are coming through the exemption route know their theory and they know how to apply these theories when developing answers. Okay, all these things will be covered in our third webinar, where I'll be taking you through answer planning technique or answering technique. Then you'd know how CIMA is testing theoretical knowledge as well as how you're supposed to apply theoretical knowledge when developing answers at your real exam. All these things will be covered later on. Okay, so let's look at the exam. Your exam is going to be a PC-based exam. So you have two options at your disposal. You can either attempt the exam at an examination hall or examination center, or you can do it at home. I would personally recommend you to do it at an examination center. Why? Because if there is some type of technical issue, if you encounter some type of a technical issue because of a problem with the Pearson server or whatnot, there would be an individual whose responsibility is to help you out. Okay, if you attempt your exam at home and if you face a technical issue, then you might have to resit the exam again, not in another 3 months time, but within a week's time. All right, so that possibility is always there, but rather than having to resit the exam twice within 2 weeks, it's better to finish it off in one go at an examination hall, okay, or an examination center. So that's that about the examination. Then your paper is going to be a 3-hour paper, and your paper would consist of 4 main tasks, and the time allocation for each task is 45 minutes. So you need to understand how to manage this time appropriately, because you cannot skip questions. For instance, let's assume you start the exam at 9 a.m. So from 9 a.m. up until 9:45 a.m., you can only attempt task number 1. And at 9:45 a.m., task number 1 will be locked and you'd be moved on to or moved forward to task number 2. So you cannot, skip tasks and move forward. Instead, you need to understand how to manage your time on a task by task basis. All these things are highlighted within the third webinar, and the pass mark is 80 out of 150 or 54%. All right, so let's look at the overview of the exam. Information is provided about a fictitious company in advance via a pre-seen document. So your pre-seen, which is relevant for May and August sessions, will be released on Friday, which is the 24th. That's when we have scheduled our second webinar as well, pre-seen analysis. So I invite you guys to be part and parcel of the second webinar. So via this pre-seen document, the examiner is giving you information about a company, its industry, the company's internal dynamics, what happens within the different departments within the company, what type of employees are there, what type of ethos are there. And on top of that, the examiner will provide you information pertaining to the financial performance of the company, thereby providing you the SOPL, statement of profit and loss, statement of financial position, or the balance sheet, as well as a cash flow statement. Okay, so the examiner is providing you information about the company, its financial performance, as well as industry dynamics. Okay, and in the exam, you are required to address issues or questions relating to the operations of the company. So through the pre-seen, the examiner is giving you information about the company as well as its internal dynamics and financial performance. And at the exam, every question which will be thrown at you will highlight some type of an issue the company is facing, or some type of some action which you need to take with regards to, or some type of assistance which you need to provide to your superior with regards to the operations of the company. So when providing answers, you are supposed to apply your knowledge pertaining to E1, P1, and F1 related areas where required. Okay. As I told you earlier, the OCS exam is a highly technical exam. So in such a context, you need to know your theory pertaining to E1, P1, and F1. That's exactly why I said FLP students would find the OCS exam to be a bit tricky because you have not done your OTQs before. But there's absolutely nothing to worry. We have covered this area through master classes. And remember, your paper is P1 and F1 heavy. A higher weightage is provided for P1. You need to know your entire P1 syllabus and some parts of the F1 syllabus, and just 15 to 20% weightage is provided for E1. So you can actually not think too much about E1, but focus primarily on P1 and F1 related areas. Again, there's absolutely nothing to worry because we have prepared 5 mock exams, and if you attempt all 5 mock exams, you are covering the entire syllabus and you have nothing to worry. And when providing answers, you need to bring in information from the pre-seen, thereby highlighting your knowledge about the company as well as the industry. You need not do this too much. You need not bring in too much information from the pre-seen because you are at the operational level. At the strategic level, at the strategic case study, you need to bring in, information all the time into your answer. Well, information taken from the pre-seen, but you're not required to do the same at the OCS level. Instead, focus primarily on the technical areas. Okay, you'd understand what I'm talking about in webinar number 3. when I'm going to take you through a mock exam, and when I'm going to highlight what you need to do when it comes to developing answer plans. All right, so let's look at your role. You are supposed to play the role of a finance officer. So as I told you earlier, via a pre-seen document, the examiner highlights the internal dynamics, the financial performance, as well as the industry dynamics pertaining to a certain company. And you are playing the role of a finance officer who is employed within this company. So as a finance officer, you need to have a moderate level of application, or display a moderate level of application and practical thinking. And as I told you earlier, theories are heavily tested and practical decision making is extremely limited. Why am I saying this? Because as the finance officer, you are at the lowest level of the organization. You are employed at the operational level. So you are involved with the day-to-day running of the company. So as an individual who is at the lowest level of the organization, you are not supposed to be involved with decision making. Decision makers are at the strategic level or at the top of an organization. So at the SCS exam, you would be involved with long-term decision making. Everything, all your tasks will be about the provision of recommendations to board members. However, at this stage, since you are playing the role of a finance officer, you are not supposed to be involved with decision making. Instead, you need to know about the theoretical elements pertaining to day-to-day running of a company, and you will be reporting to your finance manager. So you are not playing a managerial role. Instead, you are involved with the day-to-day running of the company. So in your questions, you'd see when you attempt mock exams, you'd understand what I'm talking about. When you attend the third webinar, again, you'd understand what I'm trying to highlight. So in your questions, in most instances, your finance manager will be asking for your asking for your not recommendations as per se, asking your views, asking for your views and thoughts about a certain area. So there could be a question about at present we are using traditional budgeting. What would happen if we go for a participative approach? At present, we are using incremental budgeting. What should we do if we are moving on to a zero-based budgeting system? So likewise, theoretical aspects will be tested heavily at your examination, and you will have to provide your suggestions or your views pertaining to the questions thrown at you at the exam. So that's your role. You are playing the role of a finance officer, and you're at the lowest level of the organization. All right. So let's look at the to-do list. What are you supposed to do when preparing for your exam? So the pre-scene is yet to be released. So in such a context, it's good to have an understanding about what you need to do in the upcoming 7 weeks, because from today up until your exam, you have something like 7.5 weeks at your disposal. So you need to know what to do within these upcoming 7 weeks. Once the pre-scene is released, you are supposed to read the annotated pre-scene. So, sorry, this is a document which we at TCS develop. Usually the CIMA examiner is only giving you a pre-scene document, but we at TCS, we in order to make sure that students better understand the information provided within the pre-scene, we come up with something called an annotated pre-scene. So let me show you what this annotated pre-scene looks like. So it's something like this. Okay, so you can see I've come up with annotations onto the right, and if you go through these annotations, it's a good summary of the entire pre-scene. So you need not remember all the information provided within the pre-scene. Instead, if you remember, remember all these information provided as annotations, then that's all the information you need to know to pass your OCS exam. Okay, so as you can see, all information is provided in a summarized format. And on top of that, as part of these annotations, theoretical elements or concepts are also highlighted. For instance, in here you can see E1 ethics, big data, business intelligence tools, P1 related areas, all syllabus areas which are linked to the information provided in the pre-scene are highlighted, so that you can go back and brush up your knowledge pertaining to these areas. Okay, so all the entire pre-scene has been evaluated through annotation, so that you can easily understand the information provided within the pre-scene. And on top of that, you can easily remember, because I've provided you a summary of the entire pre-scene. So that's what the annotated pre-scene is about. Then after going through the annotated pre-scene, you are supposed to watch the 4 pre-scene analysis videos. As I highlighted earlier, we usually break down the entire pre-scene into 4 different areas. And for each area, we come up with a pre-scene analysis video. Okay, so introduction, industry analysis, company operation, and financial analysis, all these things, all these 4 videos will be there. And in our second webinar, which is happening on Friday, I'll be taking you through the first of the 4 webinars. No, first of the 4 pre-scene analysis videos, thereby providing an introduction into the company, as well as certain parts of industry dynamics will also be highlighted within next week's webinar. So I expect or I invite you guys to join the second webinar as well. So that's that. So that's everything about going through the pre-scene. And after you watch the 4 pre-scene analysis videos, you'd gain an in-depth understanding about the company, its financial performance, as well as the industry dynamics. So you need not do anything else to understand or to try and understand the information within the pre-scene. If you go through the annotated pre-scene and the 4 pre-scene analysis videos, that's all which is necessary. Then you need to focus on practicing mock exams. If you are to cover the entire syllabus, you need to practice 5 exam standard mock exams. And we at TCS, when developing mock exams, we have ensured that the entire syllabus is covered. And on top of that, our 5 mocks consists of 50 odd subtasks in total. And if you attempt these 5 mocks under exam conditions, and if you go through the master classes where we explain the answers of all these 5 mocks, that's what is necessary for you to pass the exam comfortably. And you are supposed to attend the live master classes, webinars, and workshops. So this is one of the webinars out of the 4 webinars. This is the first one. We are conducting live workshops and live master classes on a weekly basis. I invite you guys to join them in order to understand the answers which you are supposed to provide for each and every mock exam, as well as learn theory. Especially the master classes are provided for or developed in such a way where we cover theoretical elements, as well as we highlight how to apply theory within your answer. So that's what you need to achieve as a student who is attempting OCS. You need to know your theory, and you need to know how to apply your theoretical knowledge. These 2 areas are covered via the master classes. Okay. And you are supposed to refer to slides pertaining to industry analysis, financial analysis, top 10 issues, and theory recaps pertaining to E1, F1, and P1. All these slides have been prepared with the intention of summarizing the entire pre-scene. And on top of that, to make sure that students can easily go through these slides and gain an understanding, and everything is summarized within these slides. And you are supposed to watch the 12 pre-recorded master classes where I'm explaining the answers pertaining to mocks 3, 4, and 5. As I told you earlier, when providing these explanations, I'm teaching you theoretical concepts, as well as I'm teaching you how to apply theory within your answers, so that you can easily improve the quality of your answer. And you are supposed to refer to the answer plans pertaining to mocks 1 to 5. No other tuition provider is giving you this service, we at TCS, we have developed answer plans for each and every mock based on the suggested answers. So you need not come up with study summaries for mocks from mocks 1 to 5. Instead, we have done up the study summary for you. So if you go through the study summary or the answer plan, you are in a position to understand the structure of the answer, the content of the answer, as well as how or what type of answers you are supposed to provide to get full marks at your exam. So the study summary is provided, and closer to the exam, if you go through these answer plans or the study summaries, then it's as if you have gone through 5 mocks at a stretch, and this will help you immensely when it comes to attempting your real exam. And you are supposed to refer to personalized tutor feedbacks because we provide tutor feedback for mocks from mocks 3 to 5. Okay. And if you go through our tutor feedback, you are in a position to understand what your shortcomings are and where you need to improve, which is going to be extremely beneficial for you at the real exam. So this is the type of feedback which you would get. So as you can see, there are annotations onto the right. So via these annotations, each and every paragraph has been evaluated. Okay, I myself will be providing feedback to you guys, and throughout the answer, I've provided in-depth feedback, and on top of that, at the very end, I'll be highlighting the marks gained for each and every subtask as well. You can see the highlighted areas. These are the areas in which the student had scored above 54%, which is the threshold. Okay, so that's a good benchmark to have. If you score more than 54% for each and every subtask, then that means you have scored good marks for each subtask. So the student, as you can see, in subtask 2B, the student had only gotten 3.5 marks, or 25. The success rate is just 26%. So that's an area which the student needs to improve. And in task 3A, 42%, and task 4A, 48%. So rather than going through or trying to develop the answer for the entire mock, the student just needs to re-practice the answers or redevelop answer plans pertaining to task 2B, 3A, and 4A. So we are trying to make your life easy. That's why we are providing this type of feedback. And at the very end, general comments are provided as well, where I'm highlighting about what you need to do to improve your answers, improve the quality of your answers. So that's the type of tutor feedback you would get for mocks 3, 4, and 5. All right, then let me remind you about the important dates. Exam entry is closing on the 5th of April 2023. So if you are to attempt your OCS exam in May, you need to book your exam before the 5th of April. And the exam dates are from the 10th to the 12th of May 2023. All right, so let's move on to the second part of tonight's webinar. Before we do that, any questions, folks? Any questions up until this point? All right, seems like there aren't any questions or doubts. So I'm going to move on to the study plan. Okay, where is it? All right, superb. So, okay, so you are on the TCS website. So, in here, we've made your life easier rather than you having to, keep a tab of what you're supposed to do on a weekly basis. We had developed a study plan within the website itself. So as you can see, your preparations would start from the next week once the pre-scene is released. So we are in the pre-course preparatory week. So study hours are just 7 hours. you are supposed to attend the first webinar, which is this, and refer to the OTQ revision cards. So, we are providing revision cards by summarizing the entire syllabus content pertaining to E1, P1, and F1. You might have your own revision cards. If not, think about investing on the revision cards. And if you do, within this week, I urge you to go through the revision cards pertaining to P1 and F1, and a higher level of prominence should be provided for P1. Even if you do not go through F1 and E1, I don't mind it, but try to brush up your knowledge pertaining to P1 related areas because your exam is P1 heavy. So that's that. In the first week, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to attend the second webinar, pre-scene analysis, which is happening on the 24th of March at 6 p.m. UK time. It's a free session. And after going through the pre-scene analysis session or the webinar, you are supposed to watch the 4 pre-scene analysis videos. These are pre-recorded videos. You can find them within our student dashboard after you invest on our services. Then you are supposed to refer to the annotated pre-scene. You can do it on your own at your own pace, and refer to the financial analysis, industry analysis, and top 10 issue slides. So by this time, you are done with everything to do with the pre-scene. So after doing all these things, after watching the videos and referring to the study material which we provide, you'd have an in-depth understanding about the company, its internal dynamics, financial performance, as well as the industry dynamics. After you are conversant with these areas, I want you guys to attempt mock number 1 via our exam platform. So we provide an exam platform with the intention of making sure that our students are conversant with real life exam, with the real life exam environment. Okay, so at your real examination, you would have to utilize the Pearson VUE system. So we had developed an exam platform which is akin to the Pearson VUE system. So when attempting your mock exams, rather than attempting a mock on a task by task basis, if you attempt it via our exam platform, you would have to attempt all 4 tasks at a stretch, just like in your real exam. So what you need to do is, within the first week, find 3 hours, sit in one place, attempt the mock exam via our exam platform at a stretch, allocating 3 hours. Then you would know where you stand as a student. Okay, then you would know what you need to do to improve your answering technique or to improve your answers. You can't, without practicing this, you can't simply walk into the exam center and do it for the first time. When attempting mock exams, you need to demarcate or allocate 3 hours and attempt the entire mock exam at a stretch. I've seen students attempting mock exams on a task by task basis. So these type of students, what they would do is they'd attempt the first task of mock number 1 on Monday, the second task on Tuesday, the third task on Wednesday, and likewise. That is not going to help you at your real exam, because at the real exam, you have to sit in one place for 3 hours and provide answers under pressure. When you sit in one place and try to do the same thing over and over again at a stretch for 3 hours, you would be under constant stress. I want you guys to go through the same level of stress before the exam. And if you do, then you'd know how to handle the stress at your real exam. Okay, so you need to practice, keep on practicing this, because as I told you earlier, we have developed 5 mock exams. And if you attempt all 5 mock exams under exam conditions, then your exam, at your real exam, you'd find it extremely easy to manage exam stress. Okay, mark my word. So try to stick to these guidelines which we are providing. So in week number 1, you are supposed to go through all the information or the study material pertaining to the pre-seen document. And within the first week itself, you are supposed to attempt mock number 1 under exam conditions via our exam platform. Then week number 2, you are supposed to attend the third webinar, answering technique. This is where I'm highlighting what you need to do when it comes to developing answers. So you might be thinking as to why I want you guys to attempt mock number 1 before this webinar is done. I want you guys to do it on your own so that you understand what your shortcomings are before I tell you how to develop answers. So you, when attempting mock number 1, do it on your own terms. And after attending the third webinar, you'd understand where you stand and what you need to do to improve the answering techniques which you are adopting as at now, and what you need to, or how you need to change when it comes to developing answers. Okay, so that's happening on the 1st of April at 6 p.m. UK time. And within the second week, I'll be conducting the masterclass for mock number 1. And within this masterclass, I'll be taking you through the entire mocks. I'll be explaining the answers. And whilst explaining the answers, a high level of prominence will be provided towards explaining the theoretical elements, as well as teaching you how to apply theoretical knowledge when developing your answers. So that's happening within the second week. And within the second week itself, you are supposed to attempt mock number 2 via the exam platform. Again, you need to find 3 hours, sit in one place, attempt the entire mock in one go. And when attempting mock number 2, I want you guys to try to replicate what I taught you with regards to answering technique, what I will be teaching you with regards to answering technique. Okay, so that's happening within the second week. And the third week, you are supposed to attend the masterclass for mock number 2. Again, I'll be highlighting the answers, or taking you through the answers, teaching you the theories as well as application skills pertaining to mock number 2. And within the third week, you are supposed to attempt mock number 3 via the exam platform. And from mock 3 onwards, we'll be providing personalized tutor feedback. Okay, so you are supposed to refer to personalized tutor feedback for mock number 3. You'd get this feedback, tutor feedback, within 48 hours. So let's assume you attempt your mock exam on Tuesday. By Thursday, you'd get your feedback. Okay, and once you get your feedback, what you need to do is I will be highlighting the areas in which you need to really improve. So I said that we are providing answer plans. So go to the relevant area and refer to the answer plan and try to figure out what type of an answer you were supposed to provide, and try to understand what your shortcomings are. Okay, and from mock 3 up until mock number 5, we will be explaining the answers via pre-recorded masterclasses. So you are simply supposed to, after attempting the third mock, you are simply supposed to watch the masterclasses for mock 3. So let's assume you attempt mock number 3 on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I want you guys to go through the pre-recorded videos pertaining to the masterclasses where I'm explaining the answers of mock number 3. And by Thursday, you'd receive tutor feedback. So on Tuesday, you do the mock. On Wednesday, you simply go through the videos to understand the answers. And by Thursday, you will get personalized tutor feedback, and you have ample amount of time. You can utilize Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to brush up on the areas where I've highlighted that you need to really improve on. So let's assume your answer planning technique is not up to standard. Utilizing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can work on your answer planning technique. If your time management is not up to par, you can allocate time and make sure that you improve your time management technique. If I say that your theoretical knowledge in a certain area is not up to standard, you can simply rewatch a masterclass pertaining to a certain task, or go through your theory recap, the OTQ theory recap slides. So as I've told you earlier, you need not do too much You just need to find time to sit in one place and attempt a mock in one go. Everything else is handled by us. Even the answer summaries are provided by TCS. So you need not worry. You just need to find time on a weekly basis to attempt a mock. You just need to find 3 hours on a per week at a stretch. Then week number 4, it's about attending the 4th webinar, where I'll be taking you through the examiner's comments, and I'll be highlighting about what you need to do to gain a high level of confidence before the exam, as well as how to maintain the same level of confidence at your real exam. That's an important webinar which is happening on the 16th of April, and you are supposed to attempt mock number 4 and refer to personalized tutor feedback and watch the 4 master classes. And on week number 5, attempt mock number 5, refer to personalized tutor feedback, watch the master classes, and I'll be having the final Q&A with you guys via Zoom on the 25th of April. This is a live workshop, and I want you guys to come up with your own notes pertaining to your queries or your questions. By the 5th week, you'd be closer to the exam, so you'd be under a bit of stress. That's normally the case. So in such a context, you can throw at me any of your questions, your queries, or if you feel that there are any shortcomings. All these things can be highlighted within this Q&A session, which is done on the 5th week. And on the 6th week, this is a week before your exam, or just 7 to 9 days before the exam. You are supposed to refer to answer plans pertaining to mocks 1 to 5. So as I told you earlier, we'll be providing you answer plans, which are summaries of answers or summaries of the suggested answers of mocks 1 to 5. So you are simply supposed to refer to the answer plans and reread the annotated pre-scene one last time. So as you can see, when all the other students are trying to do everything under the sun within the last week, you are supposed to relax. You are not supposed to attempt any mock exams, not supposed to go through any study material. Instead, you are simply supposed to reread the annotated pre-scene and go through the answer plans pertaining to mocks 1 to 5. It's as if you are re-attempting 5 mocks. If you go through these answer plans, it's as if you are re-attempting 5 mocks. And after you have done all these things, and after you are relaxing closer to the exam, there's absolutely no way that you would fail your examination. So that's, and you have to stop preparations a day prior to the exam, sleep, eat, and rest well. So let's assume your exam is on the 10th of May. You have to stop all your work by the 8th of May, and you need to relax on the 9th. Don't do anything. Don't go through any answer plans. Don't go through any study material. I want you guys to walk into the exam with an open mind. Why am I saying this? You might think that I'm stupid to say or to ask you guys to stop all work a day prior to the exam. I want you guys to relax. I want you guys to have an open mind. Why? Because this is not an academic qualification. Remember that CIMA is a professional qualification, and at the exam, you are supposed to play the role of a finance officer. The CIMA examiner is trying to replicate a real-life corporate environment. In a real-life corporate environment, if you are under stress, you can't perform well. You can't think straight. So that's exactly what is applicable here as well. So it's as if you are walking into office. You are the finance officer of a company, and you are walking into your office. And if you are not under stress, if you are open-minded, then you would provide the best solutions. You would provide the best evaluations to your superior. Okay. So if you do, it's easier for you to perform really well, achieve your KPIs at your company. The same applies to your exam. If you have a positive mindset, if you are relaxed before the exam, and if you are open-minded, then chances of you passing your OCS exam comfortably will increase significantly. So try to stick to this study plan. And if you do, as I've told you earlier, on a weekly basis, you just need to allocate 3 hours, sit in one place and attempt each mock via our exam platform. Everything else is handled by us. All right. And so that's about the study plan. Any questions, folks? Any doubts about the study plan? All right, seems like there aren't any questions. So moving forward, so let me talk about what we offer at TCS. We are offering 3 different packages: the essential pack, the value pack, as well as the premium package. So under the essential pack, you would get your hands on the recorded versions of the 4 webinars, 5 mock exams with suggested answers, and the 4 pre-scene analysis videos. And if you are a student who is coming through the CIMA general route, and if you had aced your OTQ exams, if you had gotten really good marks for your OTQ exams, and if you had not failed any of the OTQ exams, you can easily pass by purchasing the essential pack, which is priced at £99. Okay. That is, as I told you earlier, relevant for students who are coming through the CIMA general route and those who had comfortably passed the OTQ exams. Okay. And looking at the value pack, you'd get your hands on the same material which comes under the essential pack. And on top of that, you'd get your hands on the annotated pre-scene, which is extremely important because by going through the annotated pre-scene, you are in a position to understand all the technicalities which are highlighted within the pre-scene in a summarized manner. And you'd also get your hands on the study material pertaining to industry analysis, financial analysis, top 10 likely issues which can be tested at your exam, the OCS case study familiarization kit, and you can have gain access to the live chat, which will be conducted by myself via Twilio. So if you purchase the value pack, if you can get in touch with me as and when you need. Usually I'll be online on Twilio for something like 12 to 14 hours per day. So if you encounter any issue, you can raise your concerns and I'm more than happy to help you guys out. So there will be a one-to-one tutor support under the value pack, and you'd get your hands on the theory recaps pertaining to the OTQ syllabus content. Okay. So again, if you're coming through the CIMA general route, yet you found the OTQ exams to be a bit hard, if you failed any of your OTQ exams, especially P1 and F1, you should go for the value pack because you can't pass the exam just by going through the study material under the essentials pack. If you had failed one of your OTQ exams, especially P1 or F1. So the value pack is priced at £199. And let's look at the premium package. So under the premium package, you'd get your hands on everything which comes under the essential as well as the value packs. And on top of that, you'd gain access to the online mock exam platform. So all 5 mocks can be attempted via our LMS or the exam platform, which is developed akin to the Pearson VUE system. And we will be providing professional marking and one-to-one tutor feedback on mocks 3, 4, and 5 under the premium package. And you'd get your hands on the answer plans for all mocks. So you need not, develop study summaries based on the suggested answers. You need not structurize your suggested answers. Instead, that is done by us. Okay. And you can attend the 12 master classes where we'll be explaining the answers of all mocks. As I've highlighted again and again, via these master classes, our objective is to ensure that students learn theory as well as students understand how to apply theory. Because even if you know your theory, if you do not know to apply it in a practical business environment, then you can't pass your OCS examination. So that's what's covered under the 12 master classes. And we have 7 tutor-led weekly webinars and workshops. You'd gain access to these things if you purchase the premium package. and you can make payments in 3 installments, and you get a pass guarantee as well. So after um, you know uh, uh, purchasing this product, if you end up failing the exam, which is highly unlikely, yet if you end up failing the exam, you'd get the chance of uh, getting your hands on the study material as well as mock exams free of charge in the subsequent session. So the price of it is £49. That's the initial payment, and out of the 3 installments, and you are supposed to pay the balance of £450 in 2 monthly installments. Okay, and remember that all products are available until the 31st of August 2023. So even if you're planning on attempting your exams in August, you can invest now itself and start your preparations, because as I've told you earlier, you would have one-to-one tutor support via the chat or the Twilio chat, which we are utilizing. You can attempt your mock exams, you can gain access to study material, and get tutor feedback. All these things are there if you start right now. And I urge you guys to select your preferred package and start right now. And before selecting your preferred package, please go through the sample material and try to figure out the type of quality which we are offering. And if you are satisfied with what we offer, I urge you guys to invest right now, because it's better to start right now, because by Friday, the pre-scene will be out and the game starts from Friday itself. So don't wait until the last moment. Try to stick to our study plan. And if you do, as you've seen, you need not do too much. You just need to find 3 hours on a weekly basis. Everything else is handled by us. Okay. So that's that. So there are 2 questions which had come through. What areas can focus on F1 as I revise? So what area should I focus on? E1. Well, E1 is everything to do with KPIs, and we have covered all possible KPIs which can be thrown at you at your exam via the mock exams. So need not worry about E1. But when it comes to F1, again, we have covered all the areas, but just polish up your knowledge pertaining to IAS 16, property, plant and equipment, IFRS 16, leases, then IAS 10, IFRS 5. These are the areas which can be tested. And working capital management as well. Yeah, working capital management, receivable days, debtor days, payable days, credit days, payable days, inventory days, cash conversion cycle, thereby looking at the working capital cycle. Again, a question pertaining to this area can be found within our mock exams. I hope I addressed your concern, Muzumara. Any questions, folks? All right, so if you have any questions, you can switch on your mic and talk, or simply jot it down on the chat section. You're welcome, Uzamara. Okay, so having said that, it brings us to the end of tonight's webinar. I hope you guys gained something out of this. So you can contact us via our website, or drop us an email, or simply, drop us a message on our WhatsApp. And I hope you are part and parcel of the OCS WhatsApp group, where we'll be sharing free study material. We'll be sharing tips, as well as you can learn by sharing your knowledge with the other students who are part and parcel of this group, WhatsApp group. So if you're not part of it, please drop me a message on this number so that I can add you to the group. And you can follow us on our social media posts. Expect TikTok videos which are focused on the pre-scene. So via these TikTok videos, what we usually do is, we did it last time as well. what we do is we summarize the entire pre-scene within 9 minutes. So we'll be developing 3 TikTok videos, each consisting of 3 minutes. Um, so if you keep watching these 3 TikTok videos, you'd keep reminding yourself about the important information which is highlighted within the pre-scene. So in order to make your life easier, we are developing these TikTok videos. I urge you guys to follow our TikTok channel. And on top of that, keep watching these videos on a daily basis so that you remember the nitty-gritties which are highlighted within the pre-scene. And I urge you guys to follow us on our social media handles. And remember, the recorded version of this webinar will be uploaded onto YouTube. So please go follow our YouTube channel. And on top of that, we will be uploading the recorded version of this webinar via our to our website. You can, if you missed out on the first part of the webinar, you can simply rewatch the video via our student dashboard. And I please, I forgot to tell you this. Please click on this button and access the free content pertaining to OCS. We are yet to upload the free content because the pre-scene is only released on Friday. But by Friday, you would get your hands on all the free content as well as the recorded versions of these webinars. Having said that, concluding thoughts, approach OCS as an opportunity to learn rather than an exam to pass. Then you would find it extremely enjoyable as well as easy to pass the OCS exam. Having said that, it brings us to the end of tonight's webinar. So thank you very much for joining in. I hope you guys would, join the second webinar, which is an extremely important webinar, which is happening on next Friday. Thank you and good night. Take care.